Oh, looks like it's about that time of day again, that day where we go live. Hello there, Spinners and Sharks. It's Ace of Vegas, and I hope you're doing well. Okay, so now that we've dropped into the stream, let's go ahead and see who dropped in with us over here. So we got, WGCW. All right, there we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Vegas to Cali in the house there. Vegas to Cali wants to talk about a rumor. I guess we're going to have to talk about my favorite person in the galaxy, Phil Ruffin. Got Hollywood in the house too. Hollywood dealing with a little bit of an emergency, but he's doing good because that's what my man's does. Got Pennies for Vegas over here. Pennies, are you streaming live from the trailer, by the way? Are you guys out in the camper doing a live stream? You should. Camp Pennies should be doing a live stream right about now, too. We should do a Camp Pennies crossover at, maybe at, I don't know, Mount Charleston or something like that. That might be fun, or Lake Mead if things get cleaned up there. Kino Kid going on. How you doing? How you doing? And then we got Brett over here, too. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, there's the main lady, Denise, over there. Denise, we're going to crack a beer just for you over here. Always great to see you. Oh, there's my man, Pat75. What's good? What's good? Got Scott K in the chat over here, too. We got Sandman, Pie War, everybody in the house. All right, guys, let's have some fun. So we are just hanging out. We're doing something of a solo stream tonight. Christina, Seeking Vegas Sunrise, they're actually flying back from Vegas tonight. And it's been a little busy on the two Fab Dudes side of things over here. So they're going to be dropping off a little bit. Roger might be popping in. He might not. We'll just go ahead and see what happens there. But he's got the link just in case he wants to jump on in. So that'll be a good time. Dr. Strange in the house. What's up, Captain? How you doing? Oh, Brett, you should have told me that you were in town, man. We could have been having this beer together, brother. Actually, it would have been like 90 of them. So definitely would have been like 90 of them. So, there we go. Thank you, Denise. Wish Denise had a channel. She's just the best. She's just the sweetest. It would just be all wholesome Vegas spinning and, being good to people. That's what it would be. Okay, let's see what we have on the agenda for the day. All right, so I did trap you guys today with promises of a Red Rock article that we discovered, and that was it was actually more about Stations Casino. So we have that. Steph wanted to talk a little bit about the rumor that a certain we'll call him a casino mogul, is interested in purchasing one of the Caesars properties. And of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, why we may or may not have some certain water attractions in Vegas sometime soon here in the not too distant future. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get right on that. Here we go. I'm going to bring up a couple articles for you here. I think we'll probably start with the sillier, funnier one over here. And then we're going to get into the more interesting sort of stuff there that requires us to be a little more focused. Sound good? I think it sounds pretty good. We'll find out. All right, let's see who else dropped into the live chat over here, and we'll talk a little bit more. Yep, Vegas to Galley indeed in the house. Oh, my man Ronnie C. What's going on, Ronnie? How you doing? Oh, got Big Blair G. What's going on, bro? How you doing? All right, guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to work. So, first things first, we're going to do a little screen share over here. And we are going to be reviewing some issues that Stations has had with their casinos here. So I didn't know that this was a thing that was going on. It looks like Stations Casinos was fined $80,000 for a post-game betting issue. So what that means is, as you guys know, there's a sports book off in here. I'll go ahead and show you a quick little picture of it. Oh, actually, that's just the Red Rock Hotel. I had one for the promo images and all that, but there is indeed a sports book at the Red Rock Hotel and Casino, as well as all the other Vegas property. Well, pretty much every other Vegas property, but all the other casinos at Stations there. Well, what happened was, it seems as though from 2018 through 2021, Red Rock was accepting late bets, basically, on, sporting events, which, as you guys know, betting on the outcome of a sporting event that's already concluded not only just sounds kind of dumb, but it's also a little illegal too. Let's go ahead and jump into that. So it sounds like the Gaming Control Board actually filed a complaint against the Vegas-based company here, and that came out after Station self-reported a server malfunction that let its mobile sports betting application take 167 bets on previously completed events. So basically, if there was a basketball game going on, and let's say the Las Vegas Aces actually won that, let's say they're playing against the New York Liberty or whoever, people could still bet on the event after the event was done because the server wasn't catching it, basically. Good. So it's a weird little thing there. Hey, well, what's going on, man? Oh, yeah. Kino, we got the beer. Kino, you should jump on here with me and have some beer. We should talk about this a little bit. You're definitely welcome to come crash the stream. But yeah, no, this is a weird one, I gotta say, because I never, first things first, what kind of server do you have that's accepting sports bets after a game is over? You know what I mean? Like, who's taking money after the after the and obviously it's the application too. Now, what made me feel a little better about this is the fact that it was, it wasn't like actual user or actual technicians that were doing this. It was what was it? It was just the server. So it wasn't actually the people that were taking these bets at the counter or anything. Luckily, that was nice. So all good stuff. Oh, and there's a message from our main man, the Anxious Gamer. It's all good, Roger. I know Roger had some good friends in town over here, so that's why you couldn't quite make it. So all good. Let's see. Was it that people were betting on the losing side even after the game was done? Pat, it actually wasn't particularly clear. It was probably a little bit of both there. I'm sure some people did decide to go ahead and do that, but it happens from time to time. I'm sure some people just lost track of time too, all things considered, because I lose track of time in Vegas. I know that Roger loses track of time in Vegas over here. I bet you Brett loses track of time in Vegas. I know that Crystal loses track of time in Vegas over there. Hey, baby, how's it going? So, yep, there you go. Confirmed. We know what it is. So, good stuff. Thank you, by the way, Kid, for doing that work there. But, yeah, it was kind of a weird sort of thing here. So, apparently it looks like there were a few issues with the sports book and they started kind of cropping up elsewhere. So 167 cases, that isn't. Yeah, there you go. Scott's got it. Yeah, time is like nothing over there. Like you show up on one day and then you leave like on a completely different day. What did Elvis say in Viva Las Vegas? It's oh, how I wish that there were more than 24 hours in a day. But even if there were 40 more, I wouldn't sleep a minute away. And then he said, I'm going to give it everything I got. Lady Luck, please let the dice stay hot. Let me shoot a 7 with every shot. Oh, Viva Ace of Vegas. Wouldn't that have been nice if he actually sang that? That would have been great. That would have been the best way to get a channel name. But anyway, though, that's enough of that. Here, let's see what else everyone has to say about that. Pennies for Vegas should also have been on this episode too. I should have dragged Kino and Pennies on here. They would have had a great time. Oh man. But yeah, no, that's just kind of how Vegas is. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the end users, as they say, some of the customers just lost track of time and they're like, oh yeah, I was going to bet on the Giants game over here. I guess I just got to get on down there and do my bets. And, they just did it on the phone instead of going down to the counter where someone would have actually known that the game was over. So that makes a little bit more sense there. So they ended up getting fined $80,000 because they didn't troubleshoot their platform well enough. And ultimately, they're going to be switching to a new platform there. So my question is, Spinners and Sharks, do you guys still feel comfortable betting at these at the station properties, knowing that they've had this trouble and they'd had this trouble for years, it seems like? It was going from, if I'm remembering correctly from the article over here, in fact, I'll look it up right now, 350 improper wagers were accepted from June of 2018. So from summer of 2018 until March of 2021. So this was even during the shutdown, and they still didn't have time to look at this thing. What the actual hell, man? Oh, we got Tom E in the house over here. What's going on? Oh, and Daedry sneaking in too. Always good to see you. Yeah, we have to get out to Vegas. We're going to talk about that. And then my main man, Jonathan X. John, when are you coming back to Vegas too? You got to see you, bro. Let's see. But yes, Minister and Sharks, I want to see what you guys have to say about that. So what's going on? Scott's already weighed in. Let me go ahead and see what Scott has to say. So Scott Keene reaching out to us over here saying, nope, that should have been caught immediately, like several days tops. Yeah, like how do you not find that in the quality testing over there? I know some things, you're only going to notice postscript and all that, but kind of makes you wonder a little bit. Let's see. Oh, Vegas Visual in the house. Vegas Visual, how do you feel about Station Casino switching to their new gaming platform just for sports bets? And do you trust them to take your sports bet action anymore, at least online? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Does anyone sport bet? Let's see. Do you do sport betting in Vegas? There's the question there. I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to run a straw man poll. I'm just going to leave that up for about 10 minutes, see what you guys have to say. Oh, there's Miss Trish. Good to see you, Miss Trish. Miss Trish, are you a sport better? Let us know. I'm kind of curious. Oh, we got the Chuckster coming through. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, we got the whole fam in here today. Good stuff. Jonathan X not coming back. Oh, yeah, Josh Ray. So, Josh Ray, if you're just catching up right about now, basically what we're finding out is Red Rock and the rest of the Station casinos, they were accepting late sports bets through their app. This was going on as recently as March of last year, which is kind of a surprise for me. They were running that for almost 3 years. Pretty wild stuff over there. Not sure how I'm feeling about that. And hang on, I saw a name I recognize. I saw a name. It's one of my mods for sure. Hang on, where'd she go? I saw Seeking. Yep, there we are. Seeking Vegas Sunrise. Looks like you're seeing Anthony back. And also, can I just take a minute to shout these guys out over here? Mad shout outs to my best friends. Seeking Vegas Sunrise, making 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think they did it just last week. If you haven't checked them out, I always leave a link to their show in the description box down below. Don't forget to go ahead and go subscribe to them. And of course, my boys, two fab dudes. That's my boys, Roger and Josh, down in Florida now, coming through for us, doing all sorts of cool little Disney reviews in addition to their Vegas stuff. So those guys are my main mans too. But yeah, mad shout outs to Christina and Anthony. Couldn't have happened to better people. They just work their asses off. They're kind to everyone. They're sociable, just wonderful people. And Christina's a great co-host. Always happy to see her. But yeah, let's see. Nothing special, Jeff. I gotta admit, nothing on Encore. I'm just kind of curious about the sports betting situation there. So, but no, Encore, you're going to be in pretty good shape over there. Honestly, I don't think I've heard anything terrible about Encore, so I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, hey, Tina. Good to see you. We got to get, when's next time you and Walter going to be down in Vegas, by the way? We got to plan a little crossover episode. Also, we got to be like a Mount Charleston sort of thing. Wonder Woman would love that. Oh, we got a $5 super chat from my man, Jeff N. Slotin. Jeff, drinking to you over here, pal. He's going down to Vegas tomorrow, guys. If you guys are in the house, don't forget to buy Jeff a beer. The man. It's all about it. Great guy. Yep, Jonathan X doesn't want to see stations anymore. I feel you on that. Yeah, let me see. How's the straw man pool going in here? So your sports bettors in here. So it looks like about half of you are sports bettors, a little over half. Like 55% of the audience tonight is definitely down for a sports bet. So good stuff there. So I guess follow-up question, is anyone else interested in even betting down there? Because my thing is, if they didn't quality test this last one, what's going to make them do it this time, especially if they only got an $80,000 fine? I mean, $80,000, they can make that in like 20 minutes. These are places that cost $1 million a day to run. Some of them $2 or $3 million. With inflation, probably $4 million. So $80,000, that's not much. That's really only about that's basically just adding an extra hour there. So Vegas Visual always has something interesting to say about these things. Very well thought out, very insightful sort of gentleman here, Kevin from Vegas Visual. Let's bring him up over here. Stations should be able to pull off a quality sports betting operation if they get people in key positions that know what they're doing. And I feel like they have the revenues for that. I feel like they have the revenue stream for that. They shouldn't have any trouble with that. I just don't fully understand why why they were struggling with this for so long too. This is a really long time they're struggling on this. Ultimately, I understand all of them were voided, really. So I'm guessing that they were unfavorable to the better there, at least for the most part. So luckily they were all voided. Money got back there, so that was good ultimately. But yeah, I just don't think that's going to be enough to really, if they can save $80,000 in their development somewhere there just by by making a different mistake, it makes you kind of wonder. Yeah, 80,000 is an overhead cost. It really is. Like, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a Piers Morgan documentary where they said Planet Hollywood cost about $1 million a day to run. That was back in 2012 with inflation. Let's do the inflation calculator over here. So let's go ahead and do from 2012 to 2022, $1 million. That's 100,000, but that doesn't matter. It was calculated by, okay. So it'd be 1.25 million today, give or take 1.27 million, honestly. So that's just like a day to operate. So if you add an extra, I mean, what even is that? 80,000 divided by the 127.3. I don't know. That's like not even 6% of the day over there. That's nothing. That's nothing to these people. Right. Even assuming $2 million a day to operate the place over there, divide that by 24, they're spending $83,000 an hour. That's literally one extra hour that they basically be adding to the day. I don't think that's much. That's one rich real estate mogul having a really bad day on craps. Let me catch up with the rest of you guys over here. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good deal. $99. Yeah, 4 nights, 3 buffets. Yeah, that's well worth it. Oh, Haley, that's a good question. What is going to replace Major Domino? Not sure. Not sure offhandedly. I actually have to do some research on that personally. Canadians are big vlog. Right, there you go. Let's see. When Mirage opened in 1989, they had operational costs of $1.3 million a day. Yeah, that's back in 1990. So I'd assume like Mirage must cost like $3 million a day to run. And that's got to be at least equivalent to Red Rocks. So it's probably nothing to run it. Yeah, but I think that's all I really got to be on that. So I guess real question is, do you guys think that the 80,000 was a deterrent? It doesn't sound like anyone's especially hyped about betting at a Red Rock property, honestly. Or, a Stations property. And half of them are still closed, right? Like, I know Santa Fe is still closed and Texas is still closed. Like they've got 3 or 4 of them that haven't reopened since the pandemic. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. But I think that's all I've got to say on that. Let's see if there are any other final thoughts in the live chat. And then I've got to move the screen a little bit so I can find our next article over here, because I did want to talk a little something about Lake Mead. What kind of renovations are they doing at Circus Circus? That's a good question, Mr. Trish. And I guess I will talk about that a little bit. I'm going to save that for last. I'm going to save that for last because I have some choice words about Phil Ruffin. I got some choice words. Is it because they can't get staffing? That's actually a really good question there, Walt. Can they get staffing? I'm guessing, I mean, Golden Nugget's still having hiring fairs like every month or every week or something absurd like that. I was reading an article earlier when I was doing some preparation for the stream, and it looks like Golden Nugget's still really struggling to find some staffing. And I know a lot of places and a lot of different industries that are still struggling to find some staffing and all that. I'm sure it's a combination of things too. A lot of people have retired. A lot of people have found alternate incomes. I mean, there are quite a few Vegas vloggers, even in our own community, that have taken up vlogging full time because it pays the bills, and that's all they were doing was vlogging and streaming just during the whole shutdown and all, and they stopped going back to work full time, and a lot because a lot of them didn't need it, which is fine. But yeah, no, there's definitely a change in the environment, and I think Vegas still has to catch up and adapt to it. So here's hoping. Up and our way. What's going on, guys? So okay. But yeah, that's about 20 minutes on that. Let's go ahead and spend the next 20 minutes talking about something a bit more serious. Then we're going to have a fun little Phil Ruffin rant at the end of that. How's that sound, guys? Here, I'm going to go ahead and close out the straw man poll. Looks like it's majority sports voters in here, or sports players in here. We ended up with 52% sports betting in Vegas and 48% no. So that's fine. That is all good. Hey, LaFleur, good timing. Good timing. Let's go over here. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and talk about a little something over here. We need to talk about Lake Mead. So I know we spend a lot of time on this channel talking more about things that you can do on the Strip or downtown, or how you can get more out of the Strip and all that. But a lot of that's going to be kind of a moot point if things keep going the way that they're going. So let's go ahead and break down what's happening at Lake Mead. I've actually got a nice little article that I stole from UPI News. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen too. Oh yeah, high percentage of people under 30, they don't want a brick and mortar job. Yeah, I understand, honestly, because I like being able to, personally, I like traveling and being able to work like that. So it's a whole big deal. But yeah, you guys saw those. Oh, is that Gibbsy? Hey, Gibbsy, great to see you. It's been a while. I haven't seen you since, like, I think it was the Keno wedding. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think I've seen anybody since the Keno wedding. I don't think I've been back to Vegas since the Keno wedding, so we got to do that. We'll have to do, like, the Keno anniversary party there, but we're just going to have to do it next week. I don't know. That'll be a good time. But, yeah, let's have a look at this over here. So this is something of an alarming article title. It's, what did they say? It's Lake Mead is dropping closer to Deadpool status. And no, we're not talking about, Deadpool from the Marvel movies here. It's, well, not quite as jovial. Let's talk about this. Okay. So here's what's happening at Lake Mead over here. So for those of you guys that don't know, Lake Mead is kind of like the artificial lake or reservoir that's above the Hoover Dam. And that is that one's the property, the Hoover Dam. So that's where actually there's a hydroelectric power plant, and it also supplies the vast majority of water there. And also, in case you guys didn't know, that's also where, as you can see here clearly from this historical footage, this is where Megatron from the Transformers is quietly stored here. Oh, hang on. I did that wrong. I did this wrong. Hang on. I had a Transformers joke ready, but apparently it wasn't very good, so it didn't work very well. That's a shame. Yeah, here it is. Here's actual footage of Megatron at the Hoover Dam. There he is. That's obviously historical archive footage, so there's no way it could be faked. But seriously, though, this is actually a pretty serious concern, since from what I understand, anywhere from 1% to 4% of water from Las Vegas actually, or 1% to 4% of the water from Lake Mead fuels 99% of Vegas. So that's a big deal. And it also supplies about 1.3 million people with electricity, which is pretty wild. So pretty good stuff. Yes, I would love one of those cakes. NGL there, man. All right. But yeah, I want to dive into this article a little bit more and count how many more times I can say, but yeah, in the same sentence. And it looks like the most up-to-date measurement from Thursday, so this was just 4 days ago, was 1,043 feet. And that's the lowest level since the lake was filled back in the 1930s. Again, when, they built the Hoover Dam there, which a lot of people died to do too. That was another crazy thing that happened. So that was another big thing there. And then apparently the minimum elevation to generate power at the Hoover Dam is 1,050 feet. So aside from the psychotic alien super robot down there and having his prison not work, that would also mean that 1.3 million Americans would not have power, at least not power supplied by the dam. If I remember correctly, it's something like 4 billion kilowatt hours are supplied out of that dam there. That's a lot of energy. That is seriously a lot of energy there. So the reservoir is considered an inactive pool at this point. They can still keep it rolling for a little while, but they won't be able to keep doing maximum power. And it looks like producing maximum power producing power at all, it has to be up to 950 feet. So depending on how the water levels go, it's going to be a little tough there. MGM gets most of their power from the big solar farm there, right? I'm not sure, Blair, actually. That's a good question, because I know the Strip and most of Vegas, it may not be powered over there, but they're at least supplying the water, which is a huge deal. So that means no Bellagio fountains, no Bellagio gardens. No, actually, Bellagio uses a hell of a lot of that water, don't they? Lake Bellagio fountains. They got those. So yeah, that's a lot of water in there. No rain show at Caesars, although that doesn't actually use water, but that's not the point. Except for the sprinklers over the gods, but that's a different kind of worms entirely. Yeah, no Bellagio pool. I just keep going back to Bellagio with the water stuff. What is with me? Oh. Yeah, everything I think about with Bellagio is just water because it's a lake. That is insane. Oh my gatos. Hang on just a second. And I'm going to hide this user. Yeah, Bellagio is a well water. I'm wondering, was it all well water? Okay. Well, I hope it is. And most of Las Vegas does get their water from there. But yeah, right now it's providing water to people across Nevada, Arizona, California, and apparently parts of Mexico too. How crazy is that? And they're already looking at water cuts. So that's pretty wild too. And yeah, a lot of these scientists are a little concerned. Okay, MGM does have their own private solar firm. Okay, there you go. So they're in pretty good shape. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Okay, that makes sense then. Must be recycled a little bit. I know that what's his name? I was gonna make a Hog and 2 cent joke over here, but Hog just thinks it's gray water. So good stuff. But yeah, it's a big drop over there. Like they're actually expecting it to be down another 23 feet by the looks of things here by next year. So 1,014 feet. So that'd be another drop of like, I think what, 20, that'd be another 30 feet almost. Dave Gully, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. But yeah, if it's going 30 feet a year like that, on average, to get down from 1,043 down to the down below, I think where it'd be a dead pool is 895 feet. That'd be 148. So that'd only be about 4 or 5 years. So we need some really good snowpack or some really, really big water restrictions to keep that place full. So that's a little concerning. And remember, there's been a couple other events that have been canceled. I think there was a big bass fishing tournament that was out there. Jacob from Jacob's Life in Vegas, he went out there pretty recently, and there's just a boat that's sticking out that would have been that sank underwater. And they found the boat wreckage. You can walk up to the boat wreckage on dry land. It's that crazy. 6 feet in the last month. That's a lot of water. Like just the scale is mind-boggling, really. So it's a little scary. It actually is a little scary. I think Brian's bringing that up. Yeah, Pat, you guys got it easy up there in Canada, man. You got all those lakes and all that. Land of 10,000 lakes. I know that's Michigan, but it's pretty wild. Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes too. That's where Wonder Woman is from, Minnesota, actually, because apparently Themyscira is in Midwestern America. That's how that works, as you guys know. But yeah, Blair, we're gonna have to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all the snow from Denver, toss it in the trunk, drive the Subi up there, and just drop it off there. We're gonna pack it all in. We're gonna take all the snow and put it up there, just because it's going to be rough otherwise. I'm a little worried about that. Most of the strip properties have wells and water rights. I think that does make sense, Jeff. I do wonder about, frankly, a lot of the residents there too, because I know a lot of the residents also rely on Lake Mead, so that's a big deal. Parts of California, Mexico, and I believe Arizona as well too. I'll have to double check the article. Oh, here it is. Here, I'll bring it up on screen. Okay. Yes. While it may take years to reach the status, the reservoir provides water to millions of people across Nevada, Arizona, California, and parts of Mexico, many of whom have already seen a cut in the supply due to efforts to conserve water. So, Glasgow, what's the average monthly bill? That is a great question there. That is a great question. I have no idea what it's. That's a Jacob's Life in Vegas question right there. That's a hell of a question there. Yep, Vegas to Cali's got it right. Yeah. Rain is nice, but snowpack, because when that snow melts, it has to go somewhere. That goes down into the rivers, and the rivers are what feed into the reservoir. So the Colorado is what's feeding into there. That's what you got to get in there. Or is that what feeds into Lake Mead? Yeah. Let me just double check that. What river leads into that? It is the Colorado River. Okay, so literally from Colorado. So that's why Ace is in Colorado. I'm making sure that the Colorado River is working so that we have Vegas over here. That's when I'll know. If the Colorado's dried up, then no Vegas. Forget about it. And Anthony in the house. He's sneaking in, being sneaky. Oh, California farms are some of the largest users of water. That's a big deal. Man, yeah, that's a huge deal. That's just eating. I mean, won't be able to eat. That's gonna be missing a lot of fresh produce and a lot of good stuff for. I mean, buffets are already kind of gone, but yeah, that's gonna be some rough stuff there. Yeah, no, John, I'm doing my best to make sure the river's working best I can. That's the evil plan. Just make sure the Colorado River's working with my, I don't know, get like a laser beam or something like that. We'll just like melt all the snow and direct it straight into the river. Won't be any problems. Won't be a problem. Yeah, pack a ton of water in transparent aluminum. There we go. Just ship it over to Lake Mead. That'd be brilliant. Oh, man. Oh, actually, Anthony, good question. Unpopular opinion here. Take recreational boating off the lake. Trying to make your Kate and have it to the way I look at it. Actually, I think they've stopped it. They've closed like 5 out of 6 of the major ramps. And if it drops any lower, they're not going to have a choice. There just won't be any recreational boating on that lake. And that's how serious it's going to be. So it's not even going to be a question anymore. It's just what's going to happen, honestly. And it seems to be getting worse and worse over years. So it looks like I hadn't finished the whole article through. I got through the vast majority of it. And then I got really sad and I stopped probably right about here. And I was like, okay, I feel a little better. But if it's getting worse and worse over a year, like 26 foot in 26 foot drop in 1 year, that's pretty huge. And it's been 30 this year. It's estimated to be 30 this year. So if it keeps going up like that, we might be in pretty big trouble at Lake Mead. Yeah, the high water line was at 1,200 feet. So, and we're down to almost just 1,000. So that's a drop in nearly 230 feet in water. That's a lot of water, guys. Oh, gosh. Oh, thanks, Anthony. They're everywhere. Tina's been getting rain in the east, so there you go. Yeah, no, for sure. I was going to say, if you guys can bottle that up, we'll just fly it out to Vegas every single day. We'll dump a little bit in the lake, take the plastic bottles away so it doesn't end up floating in there. It'll be all right. And then we'll make it. But yeah, spinners and sharks. That being said, just knowing these statistics and, knowing how much power is there, I guess it won't kill Vegas. And honestly, Vegas isn't that big a drain on Lake Mead. I think the high estimate has been 4%. We got a scientist over here. Hang on, we got a scientist. I love the name there. 25-year extended drought strike. Warming temps in Colorado River. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Dr. Yu over here. Yeah, Scott, that would be a little scary seeing it in Deadpool status. And again, if it's not Ryan Reynolds in a red suit, then that's definitely not a Deadpool that we want. And I can see it being rough for Vegas because I'm also thinking about like the surrounding areas that are kind of depending on it too, in addition to Lake Mead and then just like the local neighborhoods too. Because if the local neighborhoods aren't able to get water and get electricity and all that just throughout Nevada, a lot of these towns could be in trouble, or it's going to get really expensive to take care of people in those towns. It's going to be an influx of people having to move and all. I can see that being pretty dangerous. And I'm not a climate scientist by any means. I'm just kind of guessing here. This is just logical reasoning, doing a little guess and check and all that. But yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about Lake Mead and its current drops over here? Are you guys a little concerned about it? Are you regular Lake Mead visitors? Do you guys go out there in between Vegas trips and all that? Like, I'm just kind of curious. Oh, got Key in the house over here. Yeah, the droughts are coming through. Droughts are coming through. Hey, Bonsai in the house. What's going on, brother? Hey, man, we're talking about Lake Mead over here. How do you feel about the situation with the drought and the dropping water levels over there? They had to cancel the bass fishing tournament over there. So, yeah, I think they moved it to another lake for this year. And that was the first time that they did that. So that's another event that Vegas has lost as a result. But yeah, for the outdoorsy people there, I guess I'm a little concerned too, just for being able to get outdoors and get to Lake Mead and do outdoorsy Lake Mead things too. Wonder Woman strongly prefers doing the outdoors sort of stuff as opposed to being inside. Like her ideal Vegas trip is me renting a car, me driving her out because she will not drive. She will not drive in Las Vegas. So she wants to rent a car. She wants to put me on the front seat, have me drive her out to, Mount Charleston, Lake Mead, something like that, do a little hike, have a picnic, then come back and then have a nice dinner and then wake up to pancakes by the pool or whatever, because that's what's going to happen. And that could be a little dangerous. Yeah, Trish, I agree with you. It's a rough situation. I'm not happy about it. I love all parts of Vegas, and Lake Mead is an essential part of Vegas there, one way or another. So if it's not going to affect the Strip directly, it could very well affect the residents, and the residents are the people that work on the Strip and take care of us during. So, it's a symbiotic sort of thing. What happens to the lake is going to affect everybody some way or another. It's a butterfly effect. That's chaos theory. Complexity theory is the real word for it. But in Jurassic Park, they call it chaos theory. So, but jokes aside, that is chaos theory. It hits everything. Hey, Mr. Coleman, how you doing? Welcome aboard. We're talking a little bit of Lake Mead over here. We're doing our Captain Planet thing, being a little concerned about the environment. Vegas, baby. Never been to Lake Mead. Coming from Vancouver Island, I have no desire to visit a lake on a Vegas. Fair enough. I understand that. That's fair. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully there. Yeah, I guess with shifts in climate and all, if things get a bit better, we'll get some water out there again. So here's hoping. Maybe if the country shoots. Yeah, there's a. It seems like a very American sort of thing to do, right? But yeah, I am a little concerned, like legitimately. I think you are too. Oh, we run Las Vegas. Good to see you, man. Hey, how you holding? Thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way. How you holding up? And wanted to hear about what you thought about this Lake Mead situation, man. It's not looking good for Lake Mead, so we're getting a little concerned. Are you worried about your Vegas trips there? I don't think it's going to shut down the Strip itself, and even if the Strip did shut down, I don't think it's going to save Lake Mead. It'd probably do, I don't know. It'd probably save about 4 or 5 inches of the drops there. So yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Pat, that stuff's going to be gone, bro. I know, as silly as it sounds, but people really love the bass fishing out there. People call us silly for liking blackjack and video poker and regular poker and things like that, but everyone's got their thing. That's what I love about Vegas is you have the option to do the cool hotel stuff, the museum stuff, the pool stuff. You can do like outdoor stuff like the Hoover Dam, or you can go to the Grand Canyon. You can go to Mount Charleston. I keep, plugging Mount Charleston because I love it, but it's just one of those deals. Yeah, there you go. Blair got it. Ian Malcolm. I wish I was Ian Malcolm. That then I could just say words and put inflections on the wrong words every single time, and I would get a large check. And yeah, that there it is. And I wish I was Jeff Goldblum. That'd be great. How much? Wouldn't you guys pay money to see a Vegas channel run by Jeff Goldblum? I would. You know how much money I would pay for that? All of the money. Like, take all my Bitcoins right now. Here, have all my Bitcoins for that Jeff Goldblum channel. Bill's got a good point over here. May affect Los Angeles since we get water from there. Yeah, that's a big deal, and a lot of you guys do go out there, so that's good. Well, Mr. Handler, that's a good question. Hopefully pretty soon. I'm trying to get out there during the summer months. Latest I'm going to go is October for sure. It just depends on a few things with work. Certain things at work are looking pretty good. Other things are still kind of up in the air. So give me a couple more weeks and I'll have an idea. Have an idea there. Yes, there it is. That would be flawless. That'd be flawless. I heard they're moving water to Arizona for another lake. Oh, interesting. That's really interesting. Fueling lakes with lakes. That's like lake inception. I have to write that one down. Oh, yeah. Build more desalination plants. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? If we could just figure out alternative methods of power and water and things like that. I kind of like, I do like that Hoover Dam is at least hydroelectric. If you're already putting something over there, you may as well put it to good work, right? Put it to good use. So it should be good balance. I like it. Yeah, LA needs all the water it can get, honestly. Oh, Jeff's got a good point. I think the government's going to prioritize Lake Powell over Lake Mead if things get bad. So you think they're just going to leave it as a dead pool and let it sit there until it recovers and then just do water restrictions? It sounds like they're already doing water restrictions, and I'm not sure what else they can do at this point other than, just cut off supply to other places until the refill is finally beating the, until the input's finally beating the output. That's the only thing I can think of. But I can't think of anything. Oh, yeah, start building a pipeline to Vegas. Well, weren't they trying to build a pipeline out from Vegas to California, I thought? I don't know. I feel like California and Vegas are just completely inseparable things. I know they're, but you can't divorce them from each other is what I'm getting at. They're separate, they're their own entities, but I feel like they're so tightly connected that whatever happens to one of them is going to affect the other. It's like, not to make a Star Wars joke over here, but, it's like the Gungans and then the Naboo, like the humans living on the planet over there. What happens to one affects the other. So it's a very delicate balance. A little concerned about that, but hopefully we're going to start listening to the smart scientist types and they're going to have a quick fix, maybe one that involves, I don't know, that in all the movies, it's always like a nuclear bomb getting shot at some rock or whatever and then fixing it. So maybe they'll have something like that. I don't know. That's why we need smart scientist types, because I'm just podcasting. Someone said build a line. I guess if we use casino money for it, we could make that work. It's going to take a lot of casino money though. Interesting. But all right, Spanish and Sharks. So there's one more thing that I heard you guys wanted me to talk about here. Let's talk about, now that we're switching topics entirely, let's talk about the Flamingo. So as you guys know, the Flamingo's been up for sale for quite some time, or they've been discussing the sale of the Flamingo for quite some time, and it's now confirmed. So there have been a few rumored people that have wanted to buy the Flamingo, and one of the names that came up, you know him, you love him, you can't live without him, the Trash Man, better known as Phil Ruffin. I should have brought some shots down because I hate talking about Phil Ruffin, and I got a legit reason about that. I might even do a rant video. I'm gonna record one tonight. I'll edit it tomorrow. I'll put it up for the patrons tomorrow night, and I'll release it for you guys. I don't know, sometime Tuesday or whatever. I don't know. It's gonna be a whole thing, but Phil Ruffin frustrates me on many levels. Many levels. Yep, player knows what it is. There's a dirty bird there. Hey, good day, Neil. Good to hear from you. Glad you made it in. Neil's coming in Oceania time. Yeah, that would be nice if they did that, Trish. I gotta admit. Does he have a new nickname? Dirty Bird, Phil Ruffin. I feel, well, it's going to be the Trash Bird after this. It's going to be the Trash Bird. The Phil Ruffin is Trash Birdie. Because he's Dirty Phil. But yeah, let's talk about Phil Ruffin a little bit. I don't like Phil Ruffin. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like Phil Ruffin. Because I feel like he's an unethical businessman. Hey, Auntie Sin, perfect timing. We're here to talk about Phil Ruffin, who I believe is trash. And I'm going to tell you why. So as you guys know, Phil Ruffin, he's currently the owner of Treasure Island. He bought the Circus from MGM Resorts back in, I think it was 2019 or something like that. It was promptly after 2019, 2020 is right after they dropped off from My Vegas and all that. So that was a thing. He's got the Treasure Island on the Strip. And now allegedly he's eyeing the Flamingo, which makes sense because I remember in an article they were asking him if he wanted to fund like a sports team. And he didn't want to bring a major league sports team in there because he didn't feel good about paying some baseball player millions of dollars. He said he couldn't sleep well, which, I mean, if you're making the money, who cares? You're spending it one way or another, but that's not what I'm here to say. So there's that. And here's what bugs me about Phil Ruffin. So as you guys know, he did, like most everybody else did during the shutdown, he had to lay off quite a few employees. I'm not offended by that because a lot of places did a lot of layoffs because they weren't making any money and they weren't allowed to be open during the shutdown back in the day. That's how that is. That's how that happened. It's unfortunate. But sometimes it's a necessity. They couldn't afford to get through that whole thing. A lot of businesses shut down. A lot of businesses couldn't afford to even stay open. So a lot of business owners had to make the hard decision to either lay off their staff or get rid of them entirely and close their businesses, either temporarily and quite a few of them permanently. So him having to close his casinos by mandate doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that he had to lay off his employees. It happens. It wasn't anything personal. I get that. That's just business. I get it. I had some friends that got laid off too during the shutdown. Luckily, most of which have found work or retired or done both and things like that, and they're doing all right. That's not the part that bothered me. Here's the part that really pissed me off. Really pissed me off about it. There is this article over here where he came through and he had said, Bill Coleman coming there over here, $25 for the next set of beers over here. Actually, it's a Tivoli, what is it? A Mahi Hefe, which is spelled incorrectly. It's with an A, with con H, so it's an Efe instead of Hefe. But I appreciate what they did, and I appreciate you, Bill. So thank you for that. But yeah, so here's the thing, and Bill, I think will appreciate this too. Something tells me Bill's a businessman, and I feel like Bill's an ethical businessman over here. So, wait, hang on. I got to unreview that. I'm going to review that message. There it is. There it is. That is correct, sir. Phil Ruffin is trash, Pat. And here's why he's trash. Because during this interview over here, what he said, and this is going to live with me for the rest of my life, what he said was, well, hopefully, the government's going to be printing some $1,200 checks. Hopefully they get a check pretty soon. Now, me, I got $4 billion in the bank over here and I'm looking to spend it. I want to buy something. So he was bragging about how he had cash in the bank and how he could, quote, keep going back for 2 years. He could keep operating for 2 years if he wanted to. Like they could stay closed for 2 years and he had the money to manage it in cash. That's what bothers me about Phil Ruffin, is that he was bragging about how much liquid capital he had, and at the same time saying, hey, that's too bad about this whole shutdown thing. Maybe the government gonna write out a $1,200 check for these people that I just kind of laid off because I felt like it or fired or whatever. It was one of those deals. Hey, TVP, what's going on, man? You know. Oh man, I wish Bill. I think I would have. I'm not sure if would have been able to afford. Actually, I probably would have been able to afford to pay people the whole way through, honestly. And I know he would have been able to do that because that's what Sheldon Adelson did. Because Sheldon Adelson, who had a pretty similar net worth and was also doing a very similar thing because he was the owner of the Venetian. This is before Adelson passed away. He decided he was going to pay his restaurant workers through the shutdown. He paid them about 2 months through the shutdown. Then luckily the shutdown ended about 3 months in. They were able, some of them were able to get some government assistance and all that. But he was like, until you guys can get that and get on your feet, I'm going to pay you salaries just to make sure that you guys are all right. Then he called them back. So, that was a big thing there. And I really respect Sheldon Adelson, the late Sheldon Adelson, for that. Rest his soul. Did he do some pretty weird business practices? Yeah. Was he a superhero? No. But at least he did the right thing. It was a thing he didn't have to do, but he did the right thing. Oh yeah, Bill. Yeah, I got you on that dime, Bill. You just let me know. You drop that Venmo for me, man. I got that dime for you, brother. You know this. I wish I had the $4 billion in the bank. If I had the $4 billion in the bank, I think I'd have a nicer setup than this. Not that my home office isn't nice. I mean, I've got my mother-in-law's artwork in the back over there. Then I have all my Gundams, my Zoids, my Dragon Ball Z, and all that. I've got all my cool stuff here, but But God, yeah. So just the example set by Sheldon Adelson, and at least you were able to, like, with Caesars, you were able to cash out some PTO and do some stuff and take care of your family a little bit there. It wasn't much, but it was something. MGM at least put a fund together. Their CEO didn't put in a lot of money, but I think he put in like $1 million or $500,000 or something. They got like a fund together. It was like $16 or $17 million for their employees to help them go for like a month or two. Adelson paid for the whole thing. And Phil Ruffin owns 3 multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar casinos. And he has the goal to say, well, hopefully the government going to go ahead and take care of him right there. And it's not the fact that he didn't pay that, because he wasn't under any obligation to pay them as a businessman. What disgusts me is how flippant he was about it and how brazen he was about it. Like he was almost bragging about it. Like, hey, it ain't my problem. I ain't going to worry about it over there. He showed absolutely no empathy for these people that, he stood on the shoulders of, that were the cornerstone of his success, and didn't appreciate them. He just said maybe they'll get a little bit of money from the government. Because I'll tell you what, with inflation and everything, that $1,200, that might have been good for 2 or 3 weeks if you got a family, especially if you're like the sole provider, which is a very difficult thing to do nowadays, honestly. I don't know a lot of single income families anymore, just because it's not the way it used to be. I mean, even when I was growing up, my dad, I think for the vast majority of my childhood, it was just him going to work and mom stayed home with us, probably until we were older children, going into junior high school, being teenagers. Then mom, was working full time and all that. So it's a hard thing to do nowadays. So, if you are just in a position where you're the sole breadwinner for your family, maybe you're a single dad or a single mom or something like that, that $1,200 ain't going to go very far if you got like 2 or 3 kids and, you're like a widower or something like that, or a widow or whatever. Like, what's that going to do? I got you covered like on rent or mortgage for and then that's it. Like no food, utilities are going to be late. It's not going to cover the phones. It's not going to do all that. And yeah, just the brazen attitude about that. So knowing that he wants to take another property and just kind of neglect it and not deal with it, just I don't know. I hate the idea, and I'm not even that huge on the flamingo personally. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Shelby's got it. Didn't much care about people. Didn't much care about people, and that's my thing. I think even in a corporate environment, you do have to at least respect the people that work for you, because that's where your profits come from. They do come from the people putting together the processes and executing the processes. That's what you need to do. You don't have to be a superhero. You don't have to be altruistic. You can still go after profits. Absolutely. Get your big bonus, whatever. But you still have to be ethical. You have to work ethically. I don't know. So Dick's got a good point over here. Canada had weekly benefits for people who lost their job due to the pandemic's 2 years plus paid business. Try to keep it up. Try to keep them up and running. That was it. People didn't fall behind on their mortgages, didn't lose their homes, credit cards, and all that. Like we're on the verge of a lot of big crises right now. And Sheldon Adelson, again, not a superhero, but at least he got what was going on. Now, granted, he had just been, I think he had pancreatic cancer or something along those lines over there. So, he knew he was on his way out anyway. So he's like, hey, you know what? If I'm going out with a bang. I'll spend like $1 billion. I don't care. He's just going to do it up. So it probably wasn't fully altruistic, if we're being perfectly honest, but it was a cool thing of him to do. Not altruistic, but a cool thing of him to do. So I can appreciate that. But yeah, Ruffin, I can't get behind that. I don't want him to have anything else on the strip. Cinnamon asks, are any of these big companies ethical? For the most part, I don't think they're especially moral or anything like that, but I guess they're ethical enough in that they'll follow labor laws as far as they need to. I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, I had my issues with Bill Hornbuckle and Jim Murin. I've definitely talked some shit about them, frankly, which I think a lot of it is justified, honestly, and it was based in fact. And then I separated my opinion from the fact, but we used documented facts, and this is also a documented fact that this is what Phil Ruffin had said too. So, yeah, see, Cosmo did something good. Gave all their employees a $5,000 bonus, probably from the buyout. They probably had some money left over from the buyout. I think it was something like 3,000 employees. So it was something like $1 million or $1.5 million sort of dollars over there. So that was really cool of them. Did they have to do that? No. Was it good of them to do that? Yeah. Was it altruistic? Probably not. But it was a good thing of them to do. And I think it was a perfectly ethical thing to do. So I respect that. Definitely. America's in a late stage of hypercapitalism. Oh, yeah. Who knows? But yeah, the hypercapitalism for sure, 100%. It's a very hypercapitalist society. And Vegas is like the best part and the worst part of that over there. So the worst part is guys like Phil Ruff, and the best part is the free comps. It's a balance. It's kind of rough. But and I think Trisha, you got it lined up over here. You got to have some kind of empathy. Like, you got to be able to relate to people. You got to be able to work with people. You know what I mean? Like, people are human. I think that's the bottom line on this. And I don't think Phil Ruffin understands that. He's not just old school, but he's dated. Because there's old school, like traditional, and then there's dated, like he's fallen behind. He's like a relic, really, of the past. And I'm not commenting on his age. I know he's an older man, but there's some older men that know things. Like Derek Stevenson, he's old school, or Derek Stevens, owner of the D. He's he's old school, but he thinks about things. He's customer oriented. He's good, he's good to his people, from what I understand, from what I've experienced. Yeah. Phil Ruffin, not so much. And from what I've seen of Phil Ruffin, I can't abide by him. So no birds for Phil Ruffin. No dirty bird for Phil Ruffin. If I can raise the $4 billion on my own, I'll buy it myself. Just thinking about Flamingo is not worth $4 billion, but if that's what I have to do to outbid that bastard, I'll do it. Absolutely. Can we speak on the store that sells things? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's bothersome. That's super shady. See, that sort of thing there. That's unethical. Not necessarily legal, but that's unethical. Like, if you're a business owner, you got to do the right thing. You really got to do the right thing. That's just me personally. Okay, that's my ping there. That means the show, we are at time on the show. Wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Also, mad shout outs to my very busy and amazing co-host. Mad shout outs to Christina again. Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers, Seeking Vegas Sunrise. And also my man Roger from Two Fab Dudes, aka the Anxious Gamer. You can go ahead and check out his channel in the description box down below. I appreciate you guys coming through. Mad shout outs to all of you guys for coming through, and especially dropping the super chats too. Don't worry, more beer is coming, more Vegas trips are coming. So we're going to put all that into the DGen budget there. So appreciate you guys. And until next time, Spinners and Sharks, this is Ace of Vegas signing out, wishing you strong hands, happy spinning, and of course, good night, everybody.